I was always seen as the disappointing daughter, while my sister was the golden child. The truth about her came to light at my wedding. My earliest memories are defined by a single truth. I lived in the shadow of my older sister, Chloe, the family's golden child. To my parents, she was perfection personified. Straight-A student, varsity athlete, and a social butterfly who charmed everyone she met. Meanwhile, I, Evelyn, was the quiet, bookish daughter who struggled to meet their expectations. I wasn't rebellious or troublesome, just not Chloe. In our suburban home in Connecticut, life revolved around Chloe's achievements. Her trophies decorated the living room shelves, while my modest certificates were tucked away in my bedroom drawer. Each time I passed those shelves, it was a reminder that no matter how hard I tried, my accomplishments would never be celebrated in the same way. It felt like my efforts were invisible, like I was invisible. Family dinners often turned into Chloe appreciation sessions. Did you hear Chloe's team won another championship? She's going to make partner at a law firm one day. Even at school, teachers would sigh and say, "Oh, you're Chloe's sister?" By the time I turned 25, Chloe was a successful corporate lawyer in New York City. She had a Manhattan apartment, a designer wardrobe, and an Instagram feed full of exotic vacations and rooftop parties. My own life was quieter. I worked as a graphic designer, freelancing from my small apartment in Boston. I loved my life, even if it didn't come with the glamour my parents craved. Then I met Liam, a software engineer from Dublin. Liam was everything I never thought I deserved. Kind, supportive, and deeply understanding. While my parents saw him as unremarkable compared to Chloe's high-powered colleagues, Liam became my anchor in a way no one in my family ever had. He celebrated my small victories, encouraged my creativity, and reminded me every day that I was enough, just as I was. With Liam, I found a sense of belonging and validation that had always been missing at home. When he proposed after 2 years, I was ecstatic. My parents, less so. "Liam's nice, but he's no big shot," Mom said. Dad simply shrugged. Chloe, of course, was thrilled and insisted on helping plan the wedding. At least, that's what she said. The big day arrived on a crisp autumn morning in Vermont. We chose an outdoor venue surrounded by vibrant foliage, a nod to Liam's love of nature and my appreciation for understated beauty. As I got ready, Chloe breezed into the bridal suite wearing a designer dress that could have easily been mistaken for a wedding gown. Typical Chloe. "How are you feeling?" she asked, sipping her mimosa. "Excited, nervous," I replied, adjusting my veil. "Don't be nervous," she said with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "Just make sure you don't trip walking down the aisle. Remember prom night?" She laughed, but it felt more like a jab than a joke. I let it slide. It was my day, and nothing could ruin it. Or so I thought. The ceremony was beautiful. Liam and I exchanged heartfelt vows, and there wasn't a dry eye in sight. The reception, held in a rustic barn adorned with fairy lights, was just as magical. I was finally basking in the glow of a moment that was entirely mine. Then came the speeches. Liam's best man delivered a touching toast that had everyone laughing and crying. Next up was Chloe, who had insisted on speaking despite my reservations. As she took the microphone, I felt a knot tighten in my stomach. When Evelyn told me she was getting married, I was shocked, she began, flashing her trademark dazzling smile. Not because she's not amazing, but because, well, she always said she'd rather adopt a dozen cats than settle down. The crowd chuckled awkwardly. "But, Liam," she continued, turning to him, "you've clearly done the impossible. You've made my little sister someone we're all proud of." It froze. The words stung, wrapped in a veneer of sisterly affection. The applause that followed felt like needles pricking my skin. Liam squeezed my hand under the table, his silent reassurance the only thing keeping me grounded. As the night wore on, I overheard snippets of conversation that made my blood boil. Guests whispered about Chloe's glamorous life, her accomplishments, her stunning dress. "She should be the one on that stage," someone murmured. It felt like my wedding had become yet another chapter in the Chloe Chronicles. But then, everything changed. In 1958, the last capital city in the Midwest was destroyed. During the father-daughter dance, an unfamiliar man approached me. He hesitated at first, his shoulders tense and his gaze darting nervously across the room. The warm glow of string lights above contrasted with the unease etched on his face as he clutched his champagne flute like a lifeline. "Excuse me," he began, his voice low, as if wary of being overheard. "Are you Chloe's sister?" He looked nervous, clutching a glass of champagne like a lifeline. "Excuse me, are you Chloe's sister?" he asked. "I think so," replied Chloe, with the direct. "Yes," I said, bracing myself for more praise about my sister. "I thought you should know. I'm her co-worker. Well, former co-worker. She was let go a few weeks ago. She's been not honest about why." My mind raced. Chloe? Fired? It didn't add up, but the man continued. "There was an incident. Let's just say Chloe's reputation in the office isn't as spotless as she lets on." As the evening wound down, I confronted Chloe. She was by the bar, charming a group of guests. I pulled her aside, my voice low but firm. "What's he talking about?" Her confident facade cracked for a split second, her eyes widening as panic flickered across her face, before she quickly schooled her features into calm indifference. It was a momentary lapse, but enough for me to catch a glimpse of the vulnerability she had worked so hard to hide. "I don't know what you're talking about," she said, but her eyes darted away. "Stop lying, Chloe. I know about your job." She sighed, her shoulders slumping. "Fine. I was fired, okay? It was a stupid mistake. I borrowed company funds to cover some personal expenses. It's not a big deal." "Not a big deal. Chloe, that's fraud." She glared at me. "Don't you dare judge me. Do you have any idea what it's like being me? The golden child, the one everyone expects to be perfect?" Her voice cracked, and for the first time I saw the cracks in her armor. "I had to keep up appearances. Mom and Dad, they'd disown me if they knew, so I improvised." I stared at her, a whirlwind of emotions churning inside me. Anger, pity, even a strange sense of validation. For years, I'd been the disappointment, the one who couldn't measure up. But now the truth was laid bare. Chloe's perfect life was a facade, built on lies and desperation. In the weeks after the wedding, the family dynamic shifted. Chloe's secret came out, and our parents were forced to confront their own biases. They apologized to me, though years of neglect weren't so easily forgiven. Chloe and I began to rebuild our relationship, this time on a foundation of honesty. As for me, I realized something important. I didn't need their validation. My life with Liam, filled with love and authenticity, was more than enough. Chloe's fall from grace wasn't something I celebrated, but it freed me from the shadow that had loomed over me for so long. And for the first time, I felt like I could truly shine. On my own terms.